Hello everyone, I'm ViciousSal, creator of Radiant Dawn, Daybreak, and I hope you've been enjoying FEE3 so far. Today, I'd like to talk about the growth of Tellius modding and what kind of developments are happening within Daybreak itself. With the release of Thane98's Exalt script editor and the Paragon support for Radiant Dawn, many new possibilities have opened up. Let's take a look. Daybreak is set to become an expansion of Radiant Dawn, featuring new chapters with new maps, expanded weapons and items, new skills, a fully functioning support system, and much, much more. Currently, new chapters will focus on expanding the story using maps that were previously used for cutscenes. As an example, between 1-9, Jared and Micaiah's encounter, and one endgame, the Seizing of Day and Keep, you'll now see a new map featuring the Dawn Brigade storming the marketplace they once used to escape the city. In this new chapter, 1-10, the Dawn Brigade will now have to break through the defensive formations from the Banyan army, arriving at the far entrance of the market without getting pinned down from the reinforcements coming from behind. Eagle-eyed viewers may also have spotted Goran, the 311 boss guarding Oribes Bridge. Goran is a fanatical follower of the Maiden of Dawn, and to reflect this, he'll now show up as a prisoner from 1-7. The Dawn Brigade freeing him gives him a new purpose in life, and it shows how he became such a devoted follower. Daybreak aims not only to deliver a new way of playing the game, but also reinforce the existing narrative, to try and correct and clean up any continuity errors within Tellius, and to enrich and expand the world of Tellius by staying as true as possible to the world building that currently exists. To accomplish that, the entire support system has been overhauled, keeping Radiant Dawn's customizability, but now also offering Path of Radiant's time-based supports. Units will have to be deployed together to actually unlock their supports as additional base conversations. These conversations, however, are time-gated, which means that they also take the world into account. People will be fleshed out, characters will have a lot more info to them, and now they can actually talk about the world and what's happening with the state of Tellius. All these changes to dialogue, units, and maps are made through the script editor. There's more that we can do. Daybreak will feature nearly all the Path of Radiance weapons, such as the Flamelance, Bolt Axe, Laguz Axe. Even some of the weapons normally not seen in Path of Radiance will make their debut, such as the Rapier and the Levin Sword. Tomes are now more versatile, no longer just the iron, steel, and silver equivalencies of weapons. Not just the weapons are expanded, however. The Path of Radiance bands also make a return, though they don't alter growth rates anymore. They'll now function more like the FE12 stat shards. The skill system has also been greatly expanded, welcoming returning skills from Path of Radiance, such as Reinforce, and also introducing new skills never before seen in Tellius, such as Gale Force, Remedy, and Intimidate. The existing skills have also been massively changed. The Masteries, for example, no longer are glorified lethality procs and have been toned down to their Path of Radiance versions, such as Luna now just ignoring defense, no longer multiplying strength times 3. Terror now just half speed, and has no longer any bonus damage multiplication. This means that there is more freedom to create new and interesting skills that can also be applied to enemies and player units alike. Lastly, regarding skills, many of them will actually step away from the random activation chance and instead opt for a more cooldown-based approach, such as in Fire Emblem Heroes. The idea is to remove a bit of the RNG during battle and offer more strategic decision-making for the player. You'll know when an enemy has their slumber skill ready, and you can prioritize accordingly. The idea for Daybreak is to offer more information to the player and not withhold any of the important information that you would like to know. One of the biggest examples in this are the follow, charge, and hold skills the enemy will have. These give an indication of the AI that an enemy will have, and you can use that to prioritize and plan accordingly. They won't offer exact information, but you can make a pretty good guess at least. With this, enemies and player units will feel more unique, having their own sets of strengths and weaknesses. Classes and promotions will feel slightly different for every unit, which will accentuate their own unique qualities. Stefan, the Branded, will of course have a lower luck cap than Zehark or Edward. Stuff like that just to make units slightly more unique. This, combined with new weapons and skills, offers more customizability than ever when tackling the old and new maps. To tie in with this, and the lore of Tellius, you'll occasionally find greater threats on the map. These could be either the Branded or Spirit Charmers. Spirit Charmers often have higher weapon ranks and some higher stats, and the Branded may even wield weapons that they normally cannot wield in their normal class. They might also have some new skills up their sleeve. They'll pose a great threat to your team, but there's definitely a reward, so keep an eye out for them. To offer even more replayability, even the simple act of visiting a house might change the way you approach a map. In 1-1, if Nolan visits the church, he will get his trusty hand axe. However, if Micaiah visits the same church, she might actually get a different item altogether. This will change the way you approach the map slightly, and you can actually offer favoritism to the units you want to have on your team in endgame. And worry not if this seems quite daunting. The addition of casual mode will ensure that players have ample opportunities to play the game in a pace that they are comfortable with. This doesn't mean there won't be any challenge, but it does mean that players have the opportunity to make a little bit more risky plays and maybe even make some decisions that they otherwise would have decided against. We're nearing the end of our presentation, and two questions probably still linger. What about the Laguz, and how will they fit in with the balance and availability of this game? Well, not to worry. Balance is going to shift around quite a bit, and though it'll take months of fine-tuning to get the numbers right, every unit should at least be viable. That's the goal. Units may have to get some extra resources, but they should never be relegated to a bench of obscurity from the get-go. Availability is also going to be changed, so units such as the Laguz Emancipation Army are going to get a buff and get some extra chapters to feature it. Other than that, Laguz have some other changes. Just to name a few examples, Laguz will now be able to attack while unshifted. They'll get some new weapons and bonus stats while untransformed, making them feel less useless. There will even be scenarios where you want to attack while unshifted. And, with the new skills regarding shifting itself, it offers a lot of new ways to play. Gauge management and how you want to approach a battle depends on which skills you have, making every Laguz feel unique, and every class even has different units depending on which kind of skills you have, so no Laguz should feel the same. So, to conclude, Daybreak aims to bring more life to the game by adding new chapters, maps, new gameplay that doesn't withhold any information from the players, new unique events, guidance chapters, new weapons, animations and skills, and much more. Even classes should feel unique, and all units should be a valued member of the army. I sincerely hope you've enjoyed this look into what Tellius has to offer so far. If you want to know more, you can follow my YouTube channel, ViciousSal, and there will also be a link there to my Discord server, the Gritnia Tower. That's where I post all my updates regarding Daybreak. I'm aiming to have a release ready in 2023 for part 1, so please look forward to that. For now, I hope you've enjoyed FEE3 so far, and have loads of fun with the rest of the videos. Thanks for watching.